Then we go on to matplotlib or matplotlib. Okay, so here what this particular library, what does it help you to? This particular library, it helps you to visualize. It helps you to visualize data. So you can visualize data by drawing some figures, drawing some diagrams, getting some graphs. It can be colorful. It just gives you all of that. So it's a very useful tool. Then coming on to pandas. Okay, so pandas is another library for data scientists. Okay, it is dedicated towards data analysis. So in essence, it is a local alternative to using SQL databases. Okay, so which is more suited to dealing with data as it is built on NumPy. So we have a few things which are, you can have a more streamlined approach to data handling and analysis, direct operations on local data sets, ability to handle heterogeneous and unordered data. All that you can do it. All right. Then coming on to the OpenCV library. Wow, this is another library which has stormed the market. Okay, the library of, you can say it is the father of signal processing and image processing. So you have, or you can say it's a big brother. So here you have something. It helps you, or OpenCV is a Python port of the very successful C library for image processing. You have a C library for image processing, and OpenCV is the same Python port for it. So it contains high-level variants of familiar image processing functions. It makes photo analysis much easier. Okay, and in situations where mobility and connectivity are prioritized over speed, this may be the solution in all those times. OpenCV, you can use them anytime. Say for example, you want to take an image and you want to process it. Say for example, you want to find out the car going outside. You want to use a microcontroller to figure out what speed the car is racing at. Okay, your microcontroller can do that by processing the image as it processes. So you can use OpenCV for that, or it needs to, say for example, you wanted to find out how different people, how to identify different people or anything like that. Okay, then you have something called as a Tkinter library. The Tkinter library, it's very useful when you need to have a GUI. Okay, so say for example, you might want sometimes to create an interface for your user, and your user, so you want to have on the refrigerator, you want to create a small interface, a screen. On the screen, you want to create a small interface where he can click on the particular microcontroller and do some task. How do you create a particular GUI? You can do that using the Tkinter library. This is very useful in such situations such as functionality testing, repeated executions of the same code. Okay, so it can help you, just fill out some simple, you can give him some sort of tables, the user some sort of GUI to just say, okay, thank you, just fill in some details or something like that. Okay, now coming to TensorFlow. What is TensorFlow? Okay, TensorFlow, that is, this particular library is a package for numerical computations for machine learning. So it utilizes different mathematical representation called data flow graphs. It uses nodes as mathematical operations and edges as data arrays. Very useful library to have if you have to deal with a lot of non-linear data sets or work extensively with decision trees and neural networks. Okay, so if you have to work with neural networks and all that, you need to use this particular library. Then we go on to requests. Okay, HTTP is one of the major protocols as we have seen in the traditional internet-based resource exchange. So the request package in Python is used to make HTTP calls, and if there is an HTTP request made to the controller, it can pass the particular request, and it is useful to do a particular task when a request comes from an HTTP. So this package is useful when dealing with HTTP based third-party cloud services. The last one, PAHO MQTT. MQTT is a protocol which is developed solely, this is developed solely for the Internet of Things paradigm. What is its focus? Its focus is on high-speed communication for low payload communication between resource-constrained devices. Wow. Okay, so what does it actually mean? Say for example, if you have two microcontrollers which may not have a lot of memory, and you want high communication, and you need for low payload, you need to have very low payload. You have very low payload communication, which means you don't have much things to add in your communication except data. You can use this particular library. So MQTT requests can be made directly within Python without any additional setup to be done. It is very, very useful when you make IoT prototypes. So, you can use all these libraries We are going to go through most of them in this particular course. Hope you will join with us in this journey on using the Python libraries for IoT. Of course, now comes the question, what must, should I know Python for starting with this course? I don't think so, because I'm going to take you through the basics. I'm going to get you from the next module. Here we have from the next lecture, you can get your hands on Python, download Python softwares, get your hands to the working, and we are there. So hope you will join with me on this journey using Python for IoT. Thank you very much.